We had a trip to South Africa with an International Red Cow Conference back in 2005, and we travelled in, starting in Durban, and then went inland, but we flew to Johannesburg and then on to Durban, and then travelled into KwaZulu-Land, and also went across the border into Lesotho. We had a wonderful experience, and we represented New Zealand. There was 5 of us from New Zealand, and there was 15 countries altogether represented at the actual conference. I'm Margaret Bailey, and I farm with my husband at Flaxton, which isn't on every map, but anyway, just north of Christchurch. We have mainly Frisian cattle, with a few milking shorthorns, and about 200 cows. We visited a Royal Agricultural Show, which was very similar to our AMP shows. A large number of dairy cattle were exhibited, and here we have it was at Pietermaritzburg, and some photos here of the cattle that were on display. Over here, of course, the wildlife in the reserve, and this is heading into the country Lesotho at the top of Sani Pass, which was a 4-wheel drive track and took some time getting there on a very, very rough road. And here we have our New Zealand delegates sitting at the conference, which was held in a place called Champagne, which was at the bottom of the Drakensberg Ranges. We also had the experience of listening to the Drakensberg Boys Choir, which was just amazing. It was a wonderful experience, and there was black and white children at that school, but they did have to audition to get to the school. But it was wonderful. An amazing country, beautiful scenery, and their farming similar but in very, very dry conditions where we were, although they did have irrigation lakes that they ponded for their water. It was their winter, the same as us, but it was extremely dry. Herringbone cow sheds based on the New Zealand style. They actually were growing grasses, some of them New Zealand species. This conference is held every 4 years and always in a different country. There was huge interest from New Zealand, but there was Northern Hemisphere countries there as well. The South Africans were bringing in the black people to become independent on their own farms. We visited a farm that had 27 cows, and it was supporting something like 10 families, but very, very enthusiastic people on the farm. Just taking in the scenery and their culture. We spent 2 days on in a wildlife or wild game reserve, and found that a wonderful experience. We travelled in open air vehicles to in the bush, and saw almost the big 5. Probably the biggest experience was the rhinos, just on our bushwalk. They're extremely talented animals, I think, because they seem to know we were there, just from this, obviously their sense of smell is huge with these little eyes, but they certainly pulled us across, and in a group of 10 we were at the back of the bunch, and we certainly had to take to our scrapers, so it just made me realise that we were definitely out in the wild, and these animals weren't there to pussyfoot with us. So it's the holiday experience we look forward to every year, every winter, since it is only my husband and myself on the farm. We do certainly enjoy the fact that hopefully we can save for a holiday to go somewhere each year. This year it is just to the North Island, and with our family for a week in the Sounds, with all our family and their partners and one little grandson. But certainly that is my big highlight every year, working the 9 months on the farm and then enjoying the holiday break.